Okay, so when it comes to global, we're going to be getting the remaining pieces for the Phase 1 content, as I've said previously, and Mechamaru will be releasing along with the Recollection banner, of course, and from that, we'll get our free tickets, we'll have a, I don't really want to say a fair shot, but we're gonna get like a multi or two to walk away and hit up these banners to see if we can pull and get whatever we can. Now, obviously, with the new characters or new character that is going to be this Mechamaru in particular, is he worth pulling for? Straight off the bat, I'm just gonna say no. In terms, no. Obviously, when Global does get this man, the position that we will be at is that he is going to be garbage, doo-doo, hot trash. He does go through an adjustment, and then of course he does get his SP potential. That's one thing which I do want to look at. I want to look at the future potential of this character, because again, if you look at where day one characters are at right now, ever since the release of the potential system, it makes it so that your investments on day one characters, didn't go to waste. It's actually worth. So that's like a huge positive to take away from Global, to be like, damn. Prime example, I've done up my Itadori. As time goes on, green units come in, things change up, Itadori slowly falls behind, and it's just like, damn, I wasted all my resources doing this man up. Is there any way I can try and get my resources back, right? Because it's just like, it's forever just a waste. And then the potential system comes along, and Itadori is back in the swings of it, running with the big dogs, right, in terms of green coverage. So that's a bit of a W. So that's why I wanted to take a look at Mechamaru, to be like, okay, if I do get this man for free, or if people do choose to pull him and they do want that breakage coverage for yellow typing, is it worth to invest in this man due to the long-term wise that he actually does improve and is pretty effective? So, because there's him and there's Kukusaki, of course. Now, I've used an SP potential Kukusaki, 2 turns buff, 8 mil damage, yeah. Pretty insane. I think I recorded it too, so I'm gonna have to try and find it. I don't know where I put it, but if I can find it, I'll most definitely do a video on an SP potential Kukusaki. She low-key is cracked. But pretty much, if we just take a little gander on what we're working here. So when break damage is performed, it increases own damage. So that's something that we. Oh wait, so that's moved to auto skill now. Okay, so 100% caps at 150. Damn, that's the first. Okay, that's the first skill. I was about to say that. Well, why is that so low? So 240. So 159 to 240 is the increase. Nothing too crazy. We've got a little bit of a counter on this Mechamaru. 40% increase on break damage. The countering on this game works from only melee, so that's something to take note of. Deals 100% of 140 melee damage. Cap that. Horrible percentages, Jesus Christ, that's horrible. 50%, so they only gave an extra 10% increase in the breakage, and oh my god. Okay, I'm not a big fan of the okay, so alright, I'm not really seeing anything too crazy on even with the post adjustments. That's nothing too insane. Okay, but he counters, I guess. That's something. The SP potential on it is increases own break damage, taijutsu, and critical hit rate by 50%. Attracts the enemies. So this is huge now. This is massive. So when targeted by an enemy single target, melee, deals 200% of 140 melee damage. Increases counted enemies damage received by 50%. So being pre-adjustment, horrible. Post-adjustment, pointless. SP unleashed adjustment, W. This is where it needs to be at. So that's a huge increase. Skill 3, again, trash. Wait, what's the percentages on so the pre-adjustment will be what Global gets, FYI. Okay, that's horrible. Alright, slight increase. I mean, well, wait, what's the initial? Oh, the break damage only goes up to 120. That is the okay. That is not 250 on the post-adjustment. Okay, well. The key design for this Mechamaru is that he is a breaker, so that's something that needs to be buffed up on. So okay, fair enough, 250 on the skill 3, and then when it comes to the ultimate, breakage increase stays at 70%. When it comes to the ultimate itself, percentage wise, it's fairly okay-ish. And then was a critical hit rate 50% first 5th hit, and then 70% on the 6th hit. Critical hit damage 50% on the 1st to 5th hit, and then on the 6th hit, on the last hit, will be at 70%. And then when it comes to the post adjustment on this, okay, so post adjustment, they've really maximized the ultimate breakage side of it, so that's a bit of a W. I believe the percentages stay the same, including the critical hit rate and critical hit damage, but in the potential unleashed version of it, they've furthermore increased the breakage and the damage overall, so that's something to take note of. Since the ultimate has multiple hits, well, it says 6 hits, so yeah, well, we'll have to take a look on each individual hit to see what we can cook up here. This SP ultimate might be huge for this Mechamaru. And then when it comes to the auto skills, we'll have his puppy body. So at the start of the so pretty much just has like a lot of resistance. And then post adjustments keeps the resistance, but makes it so that at the start of the battle increases own break damage by 80%, increases own damage dealt by 100%, effective when the selected enemy is in a break state, and then if the selected enemy enters a break state after attack, increases own damage by 150. So this Mechamaru is a breaker. Once he breaks the enemy, he'll gain his buffs, so that way he can effectively do some little bit more damage whilst the enemy is in their break form. That is the main concept for this character. So yeah, let's see what my man can cook up. Alright, shout out to Triangula. Yeah, they managed to find a Mechamaru. I was on the hunt trying to find a Mechamaru, but I lucked out, I guess, and I found myself an SP potential Kugisaki. That hence why I'm just like, yeah, between the two, because I've seen what this Mechamaru is capable of, and if I'm being I mean, you guys will see right now as it's playing through. Well, yeah, Kugisaki is the better option in terms of long-term wise on the value that they hold. So even if I do pull this Mechamaru on global, if I needed to utilize the breakage side of things, I'll probably get him up to like 100 and leave him there and just kind of utilize him from that. But outside of that, I'm not really seeing worth of longevity. His damage output, again, putting him between Kugisaki. Kugisaki, 2 turns, buff worth, drops a casual 8 mil. 8 mil, and that's not even fully maximizing and setting up correctly. So, yeah, when it comes to Kugisaki, you know, she was the day one nuker. She still holds that title in my personal opinion in terms of the SP. With her being able to easily drop a 10 million nuke easily. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. Again, Mechamaru, breakage, counterage, that's kind of where he's at. So the enemy will be in a break state, but I believe yeah, Yaga will get the breakage here. So obviously in this scenario you kind of want Mechamaru to get the breakage, so that way he can effectively get to 150. But right there, as you saw, once the enemy's in that break state, the Mechamaru can actually feed off of that. So that, again, I wouldn't say it's an all lost case for Mechamaru, in terms of not working on him. I mean, I do believe there's still some value to be held with this character in terms of utilizing him on the 3rd slot for sub DPS breakage coverage. There is that usage for him, and that's where he'll be helping out. He still comes across, even with the SG potential, to be super mid. I mean, keep in mind, obviously, with the the countering mechanic, it is still with only for melee, but you can utilize the buffs. I think what would probably be the best case scenario, because there's no defense play too for this man, is that if you do bring support play, if you can buff up his defense or make it so that he can tank a lot more, then his SP potential buff for his 2nd skill will help out in terms of being able to tank. You gain the buffs, you attract the enemy, so then he's the focal point, of course, and then from that point on, if you can get the breakage after that, because I mean, you are getting the breakage coverage, you're also getting the taijutsu coverage too. Get the breakage off. Maybe you've got the ultimate lined up, then you get the 300% increase on break. That will then pop off the passive to give you the 150, and then that leads into having that high consistency of damage through Mechamaru. So there is a bit of a layup to what you can do with capitalizing on the max potential for Mechamaru. But that honestly comes across as a high investment Mechamaru, and I just truly don't believe that it's really that worth, especially with where yellow units are at right now. And again, the units that you can furthermore cater to being obviously this Gojo, being Day 1 Kukusaki, the single target Nuka. Who else? Who else has got DPS power? First year anniversary, or will be Global's half year anniversary, Itadori. Yeah, you've just got much better options that hold better longevity, who have high consistency of damage, of course. But outside of that, in terms of, again, if you need that quick breakage or that breakage support, then yeah, third slot Mechamaru is where he'll kind of be at, of course. But that's just kind of my look at it and my take on it. Again, comparing it to the SP potential for this Mechamaru, he is still mid. He's still coming across mid. I still regard him as like A tier, and that's mostly purely because of the breakage coverage. So yeah, again, that's just kind of my personal thoughts on things, of course, between this character. But anywho, so Mechamaru is kind of just doing his thing. So there's the ultimate coming into place. So again, the ultimate itself is a 6 hitter, first to fifth. It's a 50% chance for the crits, and then the final hit will give us you the 70%. So if RNG is in your favor, then again Mechamaru can really maximize his output. So boom, those are the hits, and then the final hit. Okay, so 2.5 mil on that one, and as you saw right there, it's full on break coverage. Full on break coverage. That's kind of where we're at with this character. And then now, because obviously he got the breakage, we're maximizing the 150 that he's got. So realistically, from that, you would want to, I think it's capitalizing on the third skill. Now again, if the second skill was in effect, you would still have one additional turn left with the buff, so you can make good use of maximizing the next set of damage with your third skill. But with where Mechamaru is at right now, with the initial drop for global, Mechamaru not really seeing any value. Even with the post adjustments, 250 breakage, that's the, so look at that, 1.4 million. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. That's actually pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie. I think that was from the first skill too. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was. But yeah, beautiful. Initial drop, trash. First adjustment after 250 on the breakage, that's going to be the big seller, but that's a level 10 increase on his skills that is required, so that is too much of a high investment. And then even with the SP potential buff, you're better off fully committing to Kukusaki. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to the day 1 characters. So yeah, still mid. But at the very beginning of global, I wouldn't go overly and waste your resources on this character. Just not worth it. Once the post adjustment comes out, then if you want to kind of get him up to like level 100, you know, just kind of keep it nice and even, then go for it. That's when you fully maximize the breakage coverage, and then once that SP potential comes into place, Kukusaki will be prioritized, and then shortly after, if you guys do need that breakage support, you can always resort to using Mechamaru, but that's the most of it, and that would be a team setup, slot 3 setup for Mechamaru.